It's time for the Prete Is On with Dave Prete here on 92.1 The Team, WCKR Hornell. Here's Dave Prete.
And welcome everyone to the Prete Is On, another week down in this COVID-19 period. But light at the end of the tunnel, we're starting to see it as some businesses locally have opened up, and all across the state they're starting to open up. So some good news for people as well as the business owners. On today's show, we have some pretty awesome guests lined up. I'm actually going to interview two seniors from Canisteo Greenwood. And of course, with everybody's senior year being disrupted by COVID-19 and students not having the chance, to finish out their senior year like they deservedly should, this is going to be a great time to talk to a couple of seniors from Canisteo Greenwood and see what they're up to. And they're actually going to be coming up here in just a few minutes on the show, and I'll introduce them when the time comes. We'll also have Paul Vecchio, Athletic Director for Alfred University. And then in the final segment, I will have Sheriff Jim Allard coming on, and we are actually going to talk about the current situation here in our country with the social injustice, police brutality, and how some of the local law enforcement agencies are working together to address the issue and hopefully prevent situations like what occurred in Minneapolis just about 2 weeks ago from occurring again. So without further ado, I want to introduce two seniors from Canisteo Greenwood High School, and one of them, Allie Smith, is an outstanding athlete who has been involved with the soccer program at Canisteo Greenwood. She has played for the soccer team since ninth grade, and she's also on the varsity swim and track teams as well. And then I also want to introduce this year's valedictorian for Canisteo Greenwood, Zach Greenfield. Zach also on the varsity swim team. So let me introduce them right now. Allie, Zach, welcome to the show. I'm glad you guys could make it on.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's start, just so I, can prevent you guys from talking over one another. Let's start with you, Zach. Zach, you, as I mentioned, you're the valedictorian for the varsity swim team. Tell me what's going on with you after graduation. Now, I know graduation is going to be a little bit different for you guys this year. It's going to be done virtually. It's the first time that I can ever remember a school, or any school doing a virtual graduation. So that being said, what do you have going on? What are your plans for your valedictorian speech that you're going to make at graduation? And where have you decided to go once you graduate?
As far as graduation goes, I think I'm going to focus my speech on what we can take from this situation because, as you said, it's so unprecedented. And then after graduation, I'm going to Northeastern University in Boston, and I'm going to study mathematics there.
That's great. And now with mathematics, what is your plan to do, after you graduate your program in college? What career are you looking to get into with mathematics?
I'd like to go to grad school and then move into academia, a research position.
Okay, great. I'm sure your teachers are going to be happy to hear that one. Now,
they are.
Being valedictorian obviously is a tremendous honor. Does carry some responsibility with it, to live up to certain academic standards. Tell me about your work ethic, your workflow, and how did you get to where you're at this year being named valedictorian?
I think one of the most important things in high school in becoming valedictorian has just been the fact that I actually do enjoy the learning part of school. Even then, motivation can be hard a lot of the time, so I find it really useful to focus on routine for work that doesn't interest you.
Oh, that's great. It's a great attitude to have, and one that, in this day and age with a lot of distractions between technology and social media and everything, it's really hard to keep that focus. So that's pretty tremendous, Zach. Allie, I want to move over to you now. You, as I mentioned, you're an outstanding athlete, three-sport athlete at Canisteo Greenwood for the Redskins. But academically, you also have some pretty impressive stats as well. Where do you plan to go to college, and what are you looking to do with your career upon graduation?
Well, I plan on going to Rochester Institute of Technology and getting a biomedical engineering degree.
Okay, that's awesome. Are you looking to get into a specific field in biomedical engineering, or is it just something that you're looking to start with, and then you want to move into possibly a graduate program?
Well, I've been thinking about things like prosthetics, but I'm sure it'll change once I get there and see all the options I have.
Awesome. So that's some pretty impressive stuff from you guys. I'm sure your family, your parents, your teachers, classmates are all very proud of you. So let's talk about your classmates a little bit. This has been, and I like the word that Zach used, an unprecedented year for seniors all around, not only here in the area, but all around the country. Just really trying to piece together the last few months of your senior year. You guys had your spring sports season taken away. You're having, your graduation, the live graduation taken away. Plus, those last few months of building those memories with your classmates kind of taken away with the whole COVID-19 thing. What have you been doing to keep in contact with your classmates? Have you been able to do any type of bonding activities and anything like that that's really tried to, keep that whole senior year experience together? And Hallie, I'll let you go first on that.
Well, actually, just yesterday, Zach and I both went to a fish funeral for my English class because our class fish died. So, we try to keep in contact with everybody in our, base classes mostly, but, the other classes, we have a senior group chat for, so.
I am sorry to hear about the class fish. That's sad.
Thank you.
What was the fish's name? I'm just out of curiosity.
His name was John the Master, after William Shakespeare's character in Much Ado About Nothing.
That's awesome. Well, again, sorry about the fish. How about you, Zach? What have you been doing to keep in contact with some of your classmates and again, try to make the senior year as memorable as it could be?
A lot of us have done digital communication, like video calls after classes and things like that, because that gets a lot of communication, but it can't substitute everything. And also, we've had quite a few times throughout the year so far, we'll do parking lot coffee dates, and I find those fun where we can pull up so we can see each other from our cars and just talk that way.
That's really cool. And it's a great, thing that you guys are able to do that, because at least you're still being able to piece together, again, some kind of camaraderie among the senior classmates. So before I let you guys go, what words of inspiration, what parting words do you have for some of your underclassmates, those juniors who are going to be entering their senior year next year, and some of the other kids coming up through the ranks? Is there any words of wisdom that you guys have? Zach, I'll let you go first.
Just to really, every student going in, high school is really about exploring your interests and making sure that you enjoy the experience. So one mistake I made that I would say the advice I want to give is not to really get too stuck into doing anything specific and to really explore all your options.
Oh, that's great advice. How about you, Allie?
Well, since we all got our year cut short, just to do everything with, all you have, basically. I know, with sports, I never thought I, would be done last year. So it just basically try as hard as you can when because you don't know when you'll be done.
That's more great advice. And live every minute, you can, because, the situation that we have was very unexpected and came upon us very quickly. And I'm sure, really kind of threw a wrench to what a lot of you guys were trying to accomplish, before the end of your senior year. So I really appreciate having both of you on the show. It's been a pleasure. Good luck to both of you. Congratulations. You guys deserve all of the, accolades and adoration that you can get, because this is something that it's unfortunate, the situation, but it sounds like you guys are making the best of it. So good luck to you, and thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Coming up next, we will have the athletic director at University, Paul Vecchio, after the break.
Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering has been serving this area for many years. During life's ups and downs, we've never quite experienced anything like this. There's no official day or time set for us all to go back to business as usual, but Mullins wants you to know they're there for you and your flooring projects. And it's also a good time to say thanks to all the loyal customers and remind you to support all area local small businesses to help them stay afloat during this unprecedented time. Be safe and stay healthy. From your friends at Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond.
This local sports show here on 92.1 The Team is brought to you in part by Rhonda Wilsey. Spring is here. Now's the time to buy or sell your home. When choosing a local real estate agent, choose someone with 2 decades of experience. Rhonda Wilsey has been helping people like you find their new home for over 18 years. Call Rhonda Wilsey at 607-382-4539 or email Rhonda at rhondawilsey@howardhanna.com.
Do you lead an active lifestyle? Are you trying to reach that next level in your fitness or active lifestyle? Stop into Next Level Wellness in Hornell. Next Level Wellness offers CBD options that help promote muscle recovery and regrowth. Their CBD products are the perfect addition to pre- and post-workouts. CBD helps reduce inflammation, allowing you to recover faster from workouts. If you're ready to step up your training or take your game to the next level, then stop into Next Level Wellness or shop online at nxlevelwellness.com. Next Level Wellness, 10 Seneca Street, Hornell, or call 607-385-3188 for more info.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
It's amazing what a simple refresh can do to make a difference in your home. And Lowe's is here to help make it happen. Start by shopping our new wall tile selection with hundreds of mosaics, including modern blacks and blues. Marble mosaics starting at just $7.98. And finish off your project with dual scrub and stain-resistant Valspar Ultra Interior Paint Plus Primer starting at just $24.98 a gallon. Whatever updates you need to make today and every day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 2/19 U.S. only.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
And welcome back to the Prete Is On segment number 2. And I want to thank once again our 2 students from Canisteo Greenwood, Zach Greenfield and Allie Smith, for coming on the first segment. And again, good luck to both of them as they get ready to enter their college and professional careers. At this time, I want to introduce, speaking of college, from Alfred University, the Alfred University Saxons Athletic Director, Paul Vecchio. Paul, welcome to the show.
Dave, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you.
You too. Now, Paul, you and I go quite a ways back. I actually did a summer internship for you when I was a student at Alfred University. I believe you were the sports information director at the time. And I learned a lot from you. I know you had left AU for a few years after that position as sports information director. You went to University of Buffalo and then came back a few years ago, and you can, I'm sorry, I don't know how many years ago, but a few years ago to become athletic director at AU, where you've been ever since. And, you have a really impressive resume, and AU, of course, very popular, especially here locally, with the sports programs. So as athletic director, just for listeners who really aren't aware of what the position is or what you do, explain to me a little bit about what an athletic director does.
Well, first off, Dave, we're both showing our age in referencing that first stint that we had together, because that's going on about 27 or 8 years now, probably.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago.
I remember. Yeah, I appreciate that. Maybe the absence from that time has made it seem better, but I appreciate those kind words. It's interesting, Dave, because I get this question a lot, particularly from relatives that I don't see very often. They get me pulled aside at a family reunion. They're like, "Okay, so we know you're the athletic director. What does that mean? What do you do?" And it's funny. It's not always easy to explain, because I think one of the things that's both interesting about the job, and I think the thing that's always kept me sort of on my toes is the job can be different 7 days a week, 365 days a year, in the sense that you're, I oversee a staff of about 65 folks. And not all of those are direct reports to me, because, a number of those employees are assistant coaches that report up to, head coaches and the like. But ultimately, they're all under sort of my watch. And as you can imagine, when you start to deal with, those kinds of numbers of people, everybody has varying needs and issues and things that are going on at any given time. And of course, I think if you're doing this job well, you've got to be prepared and ready to help your staff at any given moment, achieve the things and accomplish the things that they're working on. I would say, in general, the one thing I always say, I think the most important thing that an athletic director does is hires good people. Because I've always been of the opinion, ultimately we have 19 NCAA sports, Dave, and I've got, I think, 13 coaches that oversee those, because obviously we've got men's and women's swimming that has one head coach, and our track and field programs, which are, multiple programs that have one coach. But at the end of the day, you're as good as those people are, because they're the ones who recruit the student athletes, and they're the ones who have the biggest impact on their experience. And I cannot tell you how important I think the hiring process, or if you're lucky enough to inherit, when I came to Alfred, I was able, I was fortunate to inherit some really good coaches as well. They're going to make you look really good. And unfortunately, sometimes, and we read the stories every day about head coaches that are making their athletic director look pretty bad. So I would say, when I prioritize my job, I think the people that I'm surrounding myself with as head coaches and immediate administrative staff, and how we're dealing with the needs of our student athletes is probably priority one.
So Coach Rankel, your head football coach, was on our show about 3 weeks ago and was talking, about the upcoming season and, the time and effort and amount of, work that he and his coaching staff put into all the preparation. One of the things he did talk about was the recruiting process. Explain to me the recruiting process, and not for any particular sport, but maybe just for the sports program in general, where, how difficult is it, if at all, to pull students from, recruit students from different areas throughout the country? Where does the majority of your students come from? And what, what kind of, for lack of a better term, I guess, sales pitch can Alfred University make to students looking to come in and join the athletic program?
Yeah. You spoke to a phenomenal recruiter in Bob Rankel. The lifeblood of any successful athletic program is recruiting, Dave. I don't know any coaches that are so talented that they can take less talented athletes and consistently win with them. So it all starts with recruiting, and I'm fortunate to be, to have the opportunity to work with an amazing staff of recruiters. And I think, when I look at what how our recruiting has developed, this is my 8th year. I'm wrapping up year 8 here at Alfred as the athletic director, and then 11 years in total with the 3 years that I had spent here in the 90s. The one thing that I would tell you, Dave, is that we have really expanded our recruiting reach, and that's due in large part to the fact that we've been given more budget dollars to work with, because you've got to have budget dollars to support. I mean, if you're going to go outside of the immediate drivable areas, which that's obviously a lot of northern Pennsylvania and New York State and maybe even eastern Ohio and things. But once if you're starting to get out of those areas, it costs money, because you're now traveling and spending overnights, or you're flying somewhere, and we've gotten that support to do that. And I think what we have seen, particularly probably in the last, I would say 3 to 4 years, is we have student athletes from Texas and Colorado and Florida and California and New Mexico, and all over the country. And I think that's two things. It's a tribute to my coach's ability to get out and want to be hungry to identify student athletes all over the country, but also to some specific majors that Alfred University has that allows us to recruit on a national basis. And that starts obviously with ceramic engineering and our engineering programs in general. But, Alfred University has the best ceramic engineering material science program in the country, and probably as good as most anywhere in the world. We have a world-class art and design program. We've really expanded the things that we're doing in the sciences. We have lots more of our students now coming in for pre-med or pre-vet, taking biology and chemistry and some of those majors that will eventually allow you to get into medical school or vet school or whatever it might be. So, and obviously I feel really strongly about the education that Alfred University offers, but I think in particular some of those programs that really separate ourselves from a lot of our peers are the ones that, if you want to get an athlete to come from Texas to Alfred, New York, if they're studying communications, they've got to pass probably 1,000 schools that have communications programs. They're probably going to be looking at something more specific than that to come, 3/4 of the way across the country. And that's what I think our coaches have done a great job of identifying, those student athletes that are specifically interested in some of Alfred's really great academic programs. And it's exciting to be able to reach beyond, obviously, New York State, although we're always going to live in not only New York State as our first base of recruiting, but really Western New York and Central New York, because that's our home, and we'll always draw lots of students from that area.
I live locally, and I attended Alfred University, as I said in the beginning, and I think some of us local people kind of take it for granted, but I've heard people who have gone to Alfred University as students, and even some of the alum that I talk to who are from different parts of the state, different parts of the country, really, really appreciate what Alfred has to offer, and just having such a small community, that's very laid back and very like family-like atmosphere. So I'm talking with Paul Vecchio, the athletic director at Alfred University. Now, Paul, one of the big challenges that not only your program but programs all over the country have been facing is, the shutdown of the schools, which also, of course, means a shutdown of all the sports programs due to COVID-19. How have you been dealing with that, especially with some of your senior athletes who, really were, I'm sure, excited to play in their final sports season this spring? And what's on tap for the fall? How are you preparing for the fall? Do you have any safeguards in place just in case, there's a chance that sports might not be able to come back in the fall as well?
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, Dave, it's probably, I don't think there's any doubt that it's the most challenging thing that I've gone through as an athletic director, and really as someone who's worked in athletics now for 28 years. There's really no comparison. I mean, certainly there are individual events that I've gone through as an administrator in collegiate athletics, but nothing as prolonged and as challenging, I think is probably just the best word I could use. To watch our spring sports programs, lose those seasons, particularly in the moment, in those first couple days when we watched everything, the NBA and then obviously, the NHL and everybody else just, and then the men's basketball tournament and women's basketball tournament in the NCAA, as we saw those things scuttled and, that initial recognition that this was going to be the end of sort of those seasons was pretty crushing. I want to give high marks to the NCAA, which, you do this long enough and it's not always, you don't always agree with a lot of the NCAA decisions and things that happen. But I really want to compliment the NCAA for the actions that they took both at the time, which I think were clearly appropriate now that we've seen obviously how widespread and incredibly damaging COVID-19 has been to our country. But also the fact that they awarded those seniors, that year back. And we've got so many of our spring sport athletes, softball, track and field, lacrosse, that are going to come back next year and have the opportunity to almost kind of do a redo on their season. So that's, I think, really exciting for them, and I'm really happy for that. As it relates to this fall, Dave, I'd love to tell you that we have an ironclad plan in place. But, really right now what it is it's a whole lot of scenario planning. And it's really been, we're probably going on, I would say, a solid month to 6 weeks of planning, not only at the university level, but within the Empire 8, working with, the member schools of our conference, as well as the NCAA, getting guidance from the NCAA. And I think this has gone from, we might not be able to have students or sports back at all this fall, to it's looking cautiously optimistic, to where now I think we feel pretty strongly that we are going to have students back on campus, and we are, doing everything we can to ensure that we can play sports again this fall in some way, shape, or form. And, I feel pretty strongly about that happening. But the unknown in all this is, until we really get people back and we're able to test the protocols and test the scenario planning that we've done, we really don't know how it's all going to go. And I would say, as somebody that works in athletics, and I think, Dave, you can appreciate that from having been an athlete in your day and having been around it, we like to have game plans. We really like to have strategies and plans that we feel really good about. I think with COVID-19, there's so much guesswork still in terms of what this is going to look like. And frankly, it makes all of us, I think, uneasy at a certain level about, whether we really, because we've never done this and we don't have a playbook to turn to. So, but it won't be for lack of, effort, thought, and process, because we're doing all of that, and we've been doing it for quite a while now, and we're going to continue to do it right up until we potentially get our athletes and students back on campus in August.
Well, unfortunately, the time here has run out in this segment. I would love to keep talking to you about AU athletics. It's been great having you on, and I'm with everybody else. I mean, the sooner the athletes can get back on the field, the better. Really looking to, forward to some AU football, this fall. I know Coach Rankel was really excited about the upcoming season, and, we'll just keep our fingers crossed that as the weeks and months go by, things will improve and your athletes will be able to get back out there on the field. So, Paul, thanks again for coming on the show. This is Paul Vecchio, the athletic director for Philadelphia University. And listen, let's have you on again as it gets closer to the fall season, and you can give us an update on how the fall program is looking as we get maybe a couple weeks out from the season. Thanks again, Paul.
Dave.
Yeah, it's
my
pleasure having you
always.
on.
Take care.
Okay, thanks. You too, Paul. Paul Vecchio, Alfred University Athletic Director. We'll be back after the break with Sheriff Jim Allard as we're going to talk about some of the social injustice and program issues going on here in our country, and we'll be back after the break.
Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering has been serving this area for many years. During life's ups and downs, we've never quite experienced anything like this. There's no official day or time set for us all to go back to business as usual, but Mullins wants you to know they're there for you and your flooring projects. And it's also a good time to say thanks to all the loyal customers and remind you to support all area local small businesses to help them stay afloat during this unprecedented time. Be safe and stay healthy. From your friends at Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. That's right, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free for calling today.
800-430-1891. 800-430-1891. 800-430-1891. That's 800-430-1891.
Producers have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer. Increased income is possible using strategies suited to your goals and may require buying multiple annuities and holding them full term.
And welcome back to the Prete Is On. Thank you again to Paul Vecchio, Athletic Director from Alfred University, for coming on last segment. And before we get to our next two guests, I want to promote the Joel Orion Show, which comes up right after mine here on 92 on the Team, beginning at 10 a.m. and going until noon. Coming up on Joel's show, you'll have Dr. Harry Edwards, a sociologist and civil rights activist, got his Ph.D. from Cornell University. Also, David Vanterpool, who played college hoops at St. Bonaventure University, just up the road, went on to become an accomplished player over in Europe, was an assistant coach with the Portland Trailblazers from 2012 to 2019, and is now an assistant coach with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And last but not least, the NL Rookie of the Year 1983, who would go on to be an 8-time Major League Baseball All-Star, a 4-time World Series champ in 86, 96, 98, and 99, a 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner in 88 and 90, the NL home run leader in 88, lots of accomplishments there. Spent time with the Mets, Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, and Yankees throughout his 17-year playing career, now spends his time as a minister, and he happens to be yours truly favorite player growing up. He was the reason I wore number 18 when I played sports. That's Darryl Strawberry, and I won't be missing that interview that Joel will have with Mr. Strawberry. That's on the Joel Orion Show coming up right after mine here on 92.1 The Team at 10 a.m. So I want to introduce at this time on the studio conference line, we have two special guests who are here to talk about some of the unfortunate situation going on in our country right now that was provoked by the killing of George Floyd by a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We're going to talk to Sheriff Jim Allard and Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray, and I want to welcome both of you to the show, and thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Dave. My pleasure, as always.
So, Sheriff Allard, let's start with you. Obviously an unfortunate situation that, really could have been avoided and has now led to protests and riots throughout the country, and it's been an issue that really has been pressing here in the country for several years, but has really now come to a head with everything going on. Tell me a little bit about, your feelings about what's going on, any message you want to send to the community regarding law enforcement, and what steps are being taken at the county level to better educate your police force and your officers on how to prevent situations like this from happening.
So when we look at what happened in Minnesota, we see a tragic situation, use of force that probably never should have happened in the first place from everything I'm seeing. And it is a tragedy across the board. I don't care what side of any fence you're on. Anytime I see what looks like a police officer committing a crime, it breaks my heart. And I can tell you that here in Steuben County, we invest a ton of training to make sure that we have some of the most professional officers in the area. And we do a tremendous amount of community outreach and community programs so that we really have our finger on the pulse of what the public is thinking in our area. I think there's a really big disconnect between more rural areas and more urban areas in what the shared experience is of policing in those two areas. And I think that here in Steuben County, in every agency, we have people that are volunteer firefighters. We have people that are volunteer EMTs. We have people that are Little League coaches. We have people that are town council people. And they're really invested in their community. They're a part of their community. They're not separate from the community. And for my personal belief, when we have our police departments that are not representative of their community, I think that's where the disconnect becomes very apparent.
Yeah, and Ted, in the Hornell community, you guys there was a peaceful protest Friday afternoon, on Broadway Mall in Hornell. People came out, and from my understanding, they all sat and read books and read literature that were written by African-American authors. A very peaceful act. But around the country, we're not seeing that in some places. We're seeing very violent protesting, and it's really, spread all across the country. That being said, what's your response to, the peaceful protests? Were you there during the protest? And if so, what did you tell the protesters that might help them to better understand or feel more at ease when talking with law enforcement officers?
We actually had a really peaceful one down at James Street Park, and then it was downtown. And myself and the captain walked with the crowd, and we walked throughout the downtown area and ended up across from the YMCA where some speeches were given by some local people, some African-American people that wanted to speak on the topics. And it was a really some powerful speeches. And, as a chief of police, I'm sure Jim agrees with me, we always have to continue to educate our officers and change what we're doing. And what I really get from a lot of this is that we probably need to listen more to the minority communities. And what I intend to do going forward is to have a board of
African Americans in our community that can kind of tell us from their perspective what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong in law enforcement. And I think that's a very, very valuable thing to do, and I think it's a good time to probably reflect upon that.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think more education or even maybe to a further extent, mental health background checks or assessments are needed to be done when onboarding, new officers, or if there's any warning signs or red flags, for people that are currently on your force? Do you feel that steps need to be taken to address any of those potential issues or red flags that may come up, with people on your force? And Jim, Ted, I'm not sure either one of you can answer that one if you want, or both.
Well, we're not perfect.
Go ahead.
And we're not perfect. We're not perfect as far as police officers, and we should recognize that. But I can certainly say that the people that I have in my police department, we do a tremendous amount of background before we hire someone, and the people that we have working within our departments are certainly the top notch of police officers. I can say that about them. I trust every one of my officers to go out and do the right thing. As an administrator, though, certainly we have to keep a watch and make sure that the policies and procedures are adhered to, and that our department does the things that they're supposed to. But there's a tremendous amount of training that we do on a regular basis to address all of those things that will reflect upon us when we're out there in the community.
Jim, did you want to add anything to that?
Just that it's not an easy proposition to become a police officer. They have to pass a civil service test and then score in the top 3 for us to even look at them. Then they have to pass a physical fitness test and be above a 50 percentile on a standardized test for us to even start looking at them for a background. And I know the background process at our place is they complete an application which is 20-some pages and swear to its veracity. Then they go to a psychiatrist in Rochester for a full day for a full mental health background and assessment. Then they go on a polygraph to compare what we received from the psychiatrist with what's in their packet, and then they get an offer of employment. And with that packet, we have an investigator that goes out and digs into every detail of their home life that they've alleged, and in their background and their schooling and everything that's in that. So when you look at the folks, especially in this area, becoming a police officer, it's a pretty monumental task, and it affects our ability to recruit drastically. And when we do hire somebody, as Chief Murray said, we're pretty certain that we've got the right candidate for that job. And there have been ones that we've looked at that we haven't hired after the psychological. I can think of 2 specifically where the psychologist or psychiatrist said, no, I wouldn't recommend these people, and we didn't hire them.
We are talking with Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard and Hornell Chief Police Ted Murray. And before I let you guys go, just one more question, because with everything going on, I think some people truly don't understand that the work that a police officer does, and especially when they're put into certain situations, you have to, react quickly and accordingly. And you guys have a very tough job, and all of the, the officers in your force have a very tough job. Unless you've walked a day in your shoes, I really don't think people understand what a typical day looks like for you guys. But with that being said, do you think now with everything going on, with some of the sentiments towards or about police officers, not only here locally but also across the country, does this put like a big target on your back? Is it something where you guys now you need to look out for each other more than, say you did before? And what kind of safeguards do you have in place to protect your officers from being put into, potentially dangerous situations?
We're constantly, looking at those particular risks, and I think it's going to be tougher and tougher as the sheriff alerted to in regards to recruiting people because of these negatives that are out there in regards to police officers. I think it's going to make it more difficult for us to get really good officers and recruit officers. But we don't want to be the victims either, and it is a tough job. But when we sign up for it, we know what we're getting, and I think that again, although we can complain about it, I think that what we need to do more than that is to go out there and function at a higher level, and that's what we intend to do.
Sure. You want to add anything to?
I agree with Chief Murray wholeheartedly. I think that we have to view this challenge as a challenge, and we need to take this opportunity to move forward in a way that helps us deal more effectively with those folks that feel disenfranchised, but also helps us streamline and better our policies, procedures, practices, and protocols so that we don't end up in this situation again nationally.
Well, I appreciate both of you coming on the show and giving your perspective. And, I want to thank both of you as well as all of the men and women on your force for everything that you do. Stay safe and keep protecting our communities. I know, unfortunately, one or two bad apples don't or shouldn't reflect the hard work of all the other officers across our country. So thank you again both for coming on and spending some time with us. And I wish you all the best and stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, and you also.
Thank you. That was Hornell Police Chief Ted Murray and Steuben County Sheriff Jim Allard here on the Prete Is On, and we'll be back with our final segment in just a few moments.
Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering has been serving this area for many years. During life's ups and downs, we've never quite experienced anything like this. There's no official day or time set for us all to go back to business as usual, but Mullins wants you to know they're there for you and your flooring projects. And it's also a good time to say thanks to all the loyal customers and remind you to support all area local small businesses to help them stay afloat during this unprecedented time. Be safe and stay healthy. From your friends at Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond.
This local sports show here on 92.1 The Team is brought to you in part by Rhonda Wilsey. Spring is here. Now's the time to buy or sell your home. When choosing a local real estate agent, choose someone with 2 decades of experience. Rhonda Wilsey has been helping people like you find their new home for over 18 years. Call Rhonda Wilsey at 607-382-4539 or email Rhonda at rhondawilsey@howardhanna.com.
Do you lead an active lifestyle? Are you trying to reach that next level in your fitness or active lifestyle? Stop into Next Level Wellness in Hornell. Next Level Wellness offers CBD options that help promote muscle recovery and regrowth. Their CBD products are the perfect addition to pre- and post-workouts. CBD helps reduce inflammation, allowing you to recover faster from workouts. If you're ready to step up your training or take your game to the next level, then stop into Next Level Wellness or shop online at nxlevelwellness.com. Next Level Wellness, 10 Seneca Street, Hornell, or call 607-385-3188 for more info.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
It's amazing what a simple refresh can do to make a difference in your home. And Lowe's is here to help make it happen. Start by shopping our new wall tile selection with hundreds of mosaics, including modern blacks and blues. Marble mosaics starting at just $7.98. And finish off your project with dual scrub and stain-resistant Valspar Ultra Interior Paint Plus Primer starting at just $24.98 a gallon. Whatever updates you need to make today and every day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 2/19 U.S. only.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
And welcome back to the Prete Is On here in our final segment. Just a couple of minutes left, so I just wanted to thank all of the guests today that were on the show. Allie Smith, Zach Greenfield, the seniors from Canaseo Greenwood who are on in our first segment, Paul Vecchio, the Alfred University Athletic Director who was on segment 2, and then, of course, Sheriff Allard and Hornell Chief Police Ted Murray in our last segment talking about everything going on with all the police brutality, social injustice, and, again, Officer Murray oversaw 2 very peaceful protests in the Hornell area the last couple of days. So good to see that people were peacefully protesting in Hornell compared to what we've been national news. So that wraps up this segment. We will see everyone next Saturday, 9 a.m. right here at 92.1 The Team. Coming up next, the Joel Oren Show. And again, make sure you stick around for Joel. I know I'm going to. Darryl Strawberry, baseball legend, on Joel's show, coming up in just a few minutes. Stay safe, everyone. Stay healthy. I'll see you next week. I'm out.
Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering has been serving this area for many years. During life's ups and downs, we've never quite experienced anything like this. There's no official day or time set for us all to go back to business as usual, but Mullins wants you to know they're there for you and your flooring projects. And it's also a good time to say thanks to all the loyal customers and remind you to support all area local small businesses to help them stay afloat during this unprecedented time. Be safe and stay healthy from your friends at Mullen Factory Direct Floor Covering in Almond.
This local sports show here on 92.1 The Team is brought to you in part by Rhonda Wilsey. Spring is here. Now's the time to buy or sell your home. When choosing a local real estate agent, choose someone with 2 decades of experience. Rhonda Wilsey has been helping people like you find their new home for over 18 years. Call Rhonda Wilsey at 607-382-4539 or email Rhonda at rhondawilsey@howardhanna.com.
Do you lead an active lifestyle? Are you trying to reach that next level in your fitness or active lifestyle? Stop into Next Level Wellness in Hornell. Next Level Wellness offers CBD options that help promote muscle recovery and regrowth. Their CBD products are the perfect addition to pre- and post-workouts. CBD helps reduce inflammation, allowing you to recover faster from workouts. If you're ready to step up your training or take your game to the next level, then stop into Next Level Wellness or shop online at nxlevelwellness.com. Next Level Wellness, 10 Seneca Street, Hornell, or call 607-385-3188 for more info.
Have you written a book? You can become a published author with Dorrance Publishing, the nation's oldest publishing services company. Countless authors have trusted Dorrance for nearly 100 years to bring their book to the market. Our professional team will edit your text, design your book pages, and create an appealing, eye-catching custom cover. Plus, our authors benefit from a custom book promotion marketing campaign that makes your book available where people buy books, like Amazon and brick-and-mortar bookstores. So make this free call right now to claim your free author's guide to publishing. Don't wait another day. Take one step closer to realizing your dream of becoming a published author and seeing your name in print. You've already written a book, so the next thing to do is make this free call right now to Dorrance Publishing and get your free guide to publishing. Call right now.
800-482-8399. 800-482-8399. That's 800-482-8399.
It's amazing what a simple refresh can do to make a difference in your home. And Lowe's is here to help make it happen. Start by shopping our new wall tile selection with hundreds of mosaics, including modern blacks and blues. Marble mosaics starting at just $7.98. And finish off your project with dual scrub and stain-resistant Valspar Ultra Interior Paint Plus Primer starting at just $24.98 a gallon. Whatever updates you need to make today and every day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 2/19 U.S. only.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.